In my practice, I work with a lot of herbal tinctures. For anyone unfamiliar with what a tincture is an alcohol-based extract of an herb. So it's a liquid formula, and they don't taste very good by and large. There's a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, they are not delicious. And well, many of my patients, the majority of whom are dealing with complex chronic illnesses, while they can put up with a lot, years and years of debilitating symptoms in many cases, there are some patients where they just can't tolerate the tincture. It just tastes too bad, and maybe that's because they have gagging issues or they have stomach issues or nausea or whatever, but sometimes we just can't get around the taste factor. And so one of the little hacks for that can help to overcome that issue is putting tinctures in capsules. This is something that I had to think of in practice. It's not earth-shattering, but I hadn't heard anybody talk about doing this previously. And so essentially by putting so if say a patient needs a teaspoon of a given tincture, say 2 or 3 times a day, well, they can take a dropper and put those drops inside of an empty capsule. You can buy empty capsules online, or if it's like, oh, I've got a supplement, I can just open up that capsule, pour the powder into some water. Now I have an empty capsule, I can put my tincture in there. But ultimately, a given capsule will usually hold anywhere from about 1/4 to 1/3 of a teaspoon, depending on the size of the capsule. So it requires swallowing a few extra pills, but in some cases, it's just been a game changer or a lifesaver, because the patient is doing better with the herbs therapeutically, but they're just not able to tolerate it for some reason. The one thing that I learned the hard way is that a standard capsule, which is usually like a vegetarian capsule, which is cellulose based, doesn't hold up to that alcohol in the tincture very well. Within usually less than 10 seconds, the alcohol will start to leak through the capsule. So if it's sitting in your mouth and that happens, you're going to get a nice taste of gross tasting tincture. Whereas gelatin capsules, they will hold tincture for a very long time. I still don't recommend that my patients pre-fill them, because they will eventually leak, but it does give a much longer window. But many of my patients, they just use the vegetarian-based capsules, and they just get pretty quick at squirt in the tincture, put the cap back on, swallow it, they're good to go. So just a little bit of advice: if anyone out there is struggling with taking tinctures, consider talking to your healthcare provider about whether putting those tinctures in empty capsules might be an option to make it more palatable and user-friendly. If you have any questions about this topic or about anything else, just post in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer as soon as I can.